the heating down just 1 degree will save a lot of money.
Awesome. Recently graduated and I live with my parents, so trying to share the cost of living between 3 people, it's quite expensive.
Hey guys, so the cost of living is rising and affecting so many people in so many different ways. For some who are a lot less well off, it's hitting them really badly, up to the point where some people are even unable to pay their bills as a result of the rises in food pricing and energy costs and that sort of stuff. So for today's video, we wanted to just share how we are reacting to this ourselves and what we're doing practically to kind of manage this process, this whole challenge we're all having, this crisis related to the cost of living rising. But to kind of make this video really practical, we thought we'd do something different today. You can see I'm in the car. Mary and I are in different parts of London. We just wanted to go and speak to real people on the streets to just get their real reactions. How exactly is this cost of living affecting people? What kind of stuff are they having to do or give up in their lives? And how are they dealing with it?
Hey guys, how are you preparing for the rising cost of living? Well, we're going to take to the streets of London and ask people just exactly how they're doing it.
It's difficult to say because it's out of the control. It's not about the United Kingdom, it's outside factors that unfortunately took us to that position, politics.
Turning the heating down just 1 degree will save a lot of money.
Awesome.
Recently graduated and I live with my parents, so trying to share the cost of living between 3 people, it's quite expensive. Our gas and electric used to cost probably about £80 a month, it's gone up to £250. Water bill probably used to be about £32 and now that's about £80 as well. So trying to deal with that whilst definitely not getting a pay rise, and then also travel costs. So travelling from zone 1 to 5 is over £300 a month now. And then living on a 1,500 budget, trying to save because you want to get a mortgage, just doesn't really work.
Me personally, I just feel like they say we might be getting a pay rise and whatnot, but the cost of living is going up, so the pay rise isn't really doing anyone any favours. During lockdown, petrol was like £1 a litre or something like that. And now it's at 160 or 170 if you're lucky. So what I do now to save money is anytime if I drive past a petrol station, it's on like 154, 150, 155, I'll literally top up. Even though I've just topped up the day before, all you can do is make more money. It's the easiest way to do it. Obviously there's like investing and stuff like that, but the main thing is just like standard income is just literally what I'm trying to do right now is look for a new job. You
need to have more experience and nobody wants to hire you because you're too young and you don't know as much as the older people do, and then it's like, right, well, what do I want now?
Find another ways of supplying energy-wise. For all these years they were depending on Russia.
Yes.
Regarding the gas, Europe is struggling. Now outside of, when you're not in part of the Europe, that's mean other countries, they will not support you, so you are alone. So they have to find new trade deals with States, with China. It will be very complicated. It's very complicated, will affect from the super rich to a normal person.
I actually have 3 children at the moment, so things are really, really hard, but then what can we do? We just try and get on, try and cut back on quite a lot of things at the moment.
What kind of stuff have you cut back on?
Shopping.
Shopping?
When it comes to food.
Wow, okay.
Yes, when it comes to food. So generally we, because I'm a chef, we tend to do our shopping mainly in Sainsbury's, and then we cook more as well. But then now I'm having to go to places like Aldi.
Oh, interesting.
We normally do a lot of baking. Okay. So we've had to kind of cut back on the baking a little bit, yes.
Are you going to be changing your car because of this?
I thought about that to be fair. Maybe an electric car, see if something more cost effective, but yeah, just kind of hoping to wait, see how it goes, to be honest with you, to see if things calm down again. But if it keeps going like this, then you have to kind of make costs.
Cool.
Yeah.
You have been amazing. Thank you so much for your insight and sharing what you're planning to do yourselves.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Take care.
You know, listening to that, I don't know how you felt, but I felt quite sad actually listening to that, because so many people feel so hopeless in this particular moment, you know, and in many ways, it doesn't even feel like we felt the worst of it. It almost feels like there's still so much to come down the road with a lot of uncertainty around how things might progress. So here are some practical things that we're doing in our own lives to kind of manage the rising cost of living. Let's talk about food. So we are still, I'd say, about 90-95% plant-based at home. It's been like that for the last 3 to 4 years, and we are continuing to live plant-based, and that's been helping with this period over which prices have been rising. So we continue to shop at Aldi, and that's been really helpful for us. Although we've been doing a lot more to make sure that we are shopping for the right amount of food that we need specifically. So we're not kind of buying, you know, for 2 weeks and stuff like that. We're actually going and buying specifically what we need for the week. The other tip tied to shopping on a mostly plant-based diet, as well as shopping at a supermarket, it's a lot cheaper compared to a lot of the other ones, is that we've been doing a lot more in our home to reduce food waste. So things like making sure your fridge temperature is at the right temperature. Anything between 1 degree and 5 degrees is a good temperature to make sure you reduce food waste. Things like making sure you freeze your food and stuff like that, making sure it's labeled properly so that you know when you actually put that food into freezer and when you should be looking to consume it. Things like actually looking through your fridge and looking through your leftovers and trying to make food out of them are some of the things that we've been doing ourselves. Like I've literally walked into the kitchen and Mary said to me, "Hey, do you know what? Here's what we're having for dinner." And it's like a complete mashup of various bits of food that we've eaten before. But in order to reduce food waste, we've been able to use those bits of food to have, you know, a dinner and stuff like that. And that's indirectly helping us to save money in this particularly challenging time with the cost of living rising. We drive an electric car. So this car I'm in right now is a Nissan Leaf. It's a 2013 Nissan Leaf. And we had our, you know, electricity pricing and stuff like that kind of fixed about a year ago. But, you know, the energy prices are going to affect everyone, irrespective, because the unit costs are all going up. And so we will be affected. But the thing to note is that, you know, our pricing is one where, you know, the rates are a bit cheaper after 10 p.m. So what we're doing is charging our car, you know, after 10 p.m. I know not everyone, or not, you know, not even most people have electric cars. Only a small proportion of the country have electric cars. But I think the shift towards potentially driving an electric car, if you can make that move, is a good one. We found it really good for us. It's helped us to save a lot of money. In fact, we've made a very specific video speaking to this, which I'll link to below, as well as above for you to head over and check out, because in that video, we'll really unpack the sort of savings we've been able to make by having an electric car. So driving this car has saved us hundreds per month. And obviously we had to fork out some money to actually buy the car in the first place, which for us was about £10,000 when we paid for the car itself. So if you can, and I know it's a much more longer term type commitment, if you can, a shift in your car might be a good thing to do. Also, if you're someone who is in a family where you're driving more than one car, for example, you might be a family driving 2 cars, a shift down from 2 cars to 1 car will be a really good move to make. We had to make that move ourselves. We only drive this 1 car, but before we used to have 2 cars. But that shift down from 2 cars to 1 means, you know, you're paying 1 less insurance to pay. You're not having to think about fuel costs for another car, and obviously maintenance and things like that tied to that additional car as well. And then again, coming back to energy costs, at home, we're doing things like, it sounds really, really stupidly simple, but things like turning off lights in rooms, these things help. Even when you're turning your heating on, making sure you're actually turning your heating on when you actually need to, you know, because sometimes when you feel cold at home, I know that feeling when you feel like, yeah, I just want to have it really warm. When in actual fact, all you could have done is gone and put on maybe a few more layers in order to feel a bit warmer at home. And using a timer, as well as paying a really close attention to the temperature of which your heating runs, you know, across your home, is also something else that you should definitely take a much closer look at. Now, one thing not many people talked about when we went out there and spoke to people today was this whole idea of trying to make more money. Okay, one couple did mention it after I prompted them and asked them if they were trying to explore different ways of making money. Our natural instinct is to look for different ways in which we can cut down our costs to try and save money. And that's a good thing. But it's very important in these times to really explore other ways in which you can have an increase in your income, okay? Even if you had to get a second job, you know, and I know not many people want to put more hours into doing various bits of work, even if you had to do that, you know, it might be what you might need to do in order to either maintain the lifestyle you've got at the moment, or simply get by and survive the really challenging time that many people are going through at the moment. So you can either explore getting another job, or explore, starting a side hustle or finding different ways that you can earn an income online, for example. We've made lots and lots of content on this particular area here at The Humble Penny. So I'll link to some of those below as well as above with some ideas, really practical ideas that you can go ahead and explore as alternative ways for you to look to make some income in this very time. I should also mention that we've made a specific video speaking to inflation specifically. So if you're someone who is thinking, how could I actually beat inflation by perhaps investing in assets that are actually increasing in value and things of that nature. Assets that are also generating an income, such as property, other investments in stock market. Provided you're thinking long term, you should definitely check out the video we made speaking to this specifically. Again, I'll link to that video below as well as above for you to head over and check out. So I just want to end this video by saying, do please try your best to stay positive in these times. I know things are really challenging for so many people, okay? You want to try and stay resilient in these times. Make sure you have that emergency fund put aside. Make sure you're thinking about the worst case scenarios and preparing for those worst case scenarios, whilst obviously hoping for the best to happen. Stay proactive. Like I said before, look for alternative ways to increase your income. And when you bring together all those little bits of savings from here and there, as well as increases in income, I can see a situation where we actually get past this really challenging time together. Do please make sure you check in with other people. If you've got family members, you've got friends who are going through difficult times, as the cost of living rises, please check in with people. I'm doing it myself, Mary's doing it, we're doing it together, checking with various people, as well as checking in with our community members and actually helping people practically where we can, whether it's by, helping people with, financial means, or helping people via encouragement, or helping people via ideas. We are looking for every opportunity to help people on a practical basis. All right, people, take care. And if you really enjoyed this video, would love to see you in the comments. Jump in the comments and let us know, how is this period of rising cost of living affecting you practically? What are you having to change in your life? What are you having to cut off or reduce? Really appreciate it if you hit that like button, because that just helps encourage more people to watch our videos here on this channel. Thanks again for watching today's video, guys. And as ever, in all things, be thankful and seek joy. Take care, people. Bye.